Two people sit down to eat the exact same meal. Same plate, same calories, same exact moment in time. Nothing about them looks different. Nothing warns you their bodies are about to react in completely opposite ways. One person quietly stands up and takes a slow 10-minute walk before they even touch their food tonight. The other finishes eating first, then walks outside 10 minutes later, calm and unhurried, no rush at all. No sprinting, no gym, no sweat, just ordinary walking, the kind you barely think twice about doing daily. But inside their bodies, something invisible is happening, something almost nobody notices, something science has quietly been tracking for years. Blood sugar rises differently in each person. Insulin behaves differently, and a hidden decision gets made in minutes. That decision determines whether the energy from their meal gets used immediately or quietly stored away as fat. Most people assume walking is just walking, good for your legs, good for your mood, nothing more mysterious. But research keeps pointing to something surprising, something that timing alone can completely reshape inside your metabolism. Sometimes the biggest difference in your health isn't what you do, but exactly when you choose to do it. Think about how you feel right after most meals. Heavy, sluggish, suddenly craving a nap on the couch. You probably assumed that feeling was normal, harmless, just part of eating, nothing your body was trying to tell you. But biologically, those minutes after eating are some of the most sensitive your metabolism will experience all day. This is the exact window where your body decides how to handle every gram of energy you just consumed. Millions of people worldwide live with high blood sugar, insulin resistance, or stubborn fat around their belly. And surprisingly often, the real problem isn't the food itself, but what happens right after the meal ends. Almost nobody tells you the human body is incredibly sensitive to movement timed around eating. Not exercise, just motion. Not intense training, not punishing workouts, not willpower. Just a slow, easy walk sending a very specific biological signal. That signal quietly influences your hormones, shapes your blood sugar curve, and decides whether energy gets burned or banked as fat. Here's the part almost nobody explains clearly. Your body treats a pre-meal walk completely differently than a post-meal walk. Both are beneficial, both send useful signals, but underneath the surface, two entirely different biological programs are running. To really understand this, we need to look inside the muscles, the hormones, and millions of years of human evolution. When you walk before eating, your body enters a quiet state of preparation, readying itself before any food arrives. No food is in your system yet, blood sugar sits stable, and insulin levels remain calm and low throughout. Within just a few minutes of walking, your muscles wake up and start demanding energy to keep moving forward. To get that energy, muscle cells open special doorways that pull in glucose without needing insulin's help at all. For your body, this feels like an early warning system, quietly whispering that energy will soon be required somewhere. This single act of preparation completely changes how your body responds once that upcoming meal finally arrives on your plate. When food shows up later, glucose enters a system that's already organized, alert, and ready to absorb it efficiently. Your muscles are primed, blood sugar rises far more gently, and your pancreas releases noticeably less insulin overall. Scientists call this improved insulin sensitivity, meaning your body needs far less hormonal effort to deliver the same result. This isn't some modern biohack, it's ancient wiring, a pattern your ancestors lived by for hundreds of thousands of years.
For most of human history, people moved first, hunting, walking, gathering, and only afterward did they finally sit down to eat. Your metabolism is still built around that exact sequence, movement first, food second, even though modern life reversed the order. A short walk before eating essentially replays that ancient signal, telling your body clearly that movement always comes before food. That single sequence changes your entire metabolic response, but this is only half of a much bigger story unfolding here. Because when movement happens after eating instead, your body is working with a completely different set of circumstances entirely. By the time you start walking after a meal, food is already digesting and glucose is flooding straight into your bloodstream. Blood sugar climbs and your pancreas scrambles to release insulin, stepping in like a traffic controller, managing sudden congestion everywhere. Insulin tries to push that extra glucose out of your blood and into your cells before levels climb too high. But without any movement helping things along, some of that glucose lingers too long and eventually gets stored as fat. The instant you start walking, that entire picture shifts because your working muscles suddenly demand fuel to keep moving. Muscles open their glucose doorways immediately, pulling sugar directly from your bloodstream without waiting around for insulin's permission first. For your body, this feels like sudden relief. Blood sugar drops faster, and dangerous post-meal spikes get flattened out quickly. Research shows that just 10 to 15 minutes of slow, easy walking after eating can meaningfully reduce your blood sugar spike. This effect is especially powerful for people already dealing with insulin resistance or the early warning signs of prediabetes. Walking after a meal acts almost like damage control, stepping in exactly when your metabolism is under the most pressure. It helps your body distribute incoming energy wisely instead of quietly stockpiling it away as long-term stubborn body fat. Many people notice this feeling without even understanding the science, feeling clearer, lighter, and noticeably less foggy after a short walk. That feeling isn't imagination, it's the direct result of steadier blood sugar and a calmer, less overworked hormonal system. So here's the real twist. Walking before and walking after look almost identical, yet they trigger entirely different biological outcomes. At first glance, a walk is just a walk, but timing quietly rewrites the entire script happening beneath your skin. Walking before eating works like preparation, tuning your metabolism and readying your muscles before any energy even arrives. It slows the rise of blood sugar and reduces how much insulin your body needs to keep everything under control. Walking after eating, meanwhile, works like intervention, stepping in exactly when your metabolism is already under active strain. It clears excess glucose from your bloodstream fast, softens dangerous spikes, and gives your overworked pancreas some much-needed relief. Both approaches matter, but which one helps you most really depends on your current health and your specific personal goals. If your health is already stable, walking before meals can help protect and maintain your insulin sensitivity over time. But if you're dealing with high blood sugar, prediabetes, or stubborn belly fat, walking after meals often works better. That's because it directly targets the problem, exactly where and when it's actually happening inside your bloodstream in real time. Interestingly, intensity barely matters here at all. You don't need speed, sweat, or exhausting effort to see real results. Your body responds to calm, steady movement just as powerfully as it responds to anything more intense or demanding. What truly matters isn't effort, it's the signal you're sending, telling your body that energy should be used, not stored. And that exact signal is one modern life has almost completely erased from our daily routines without us even realizing it. We sit before we eat, then we sit again right after, leaving our metabolism with zero clear instructions to follow. Before this starts sounding like some miracle fix, it's worth slowing down and looking honestly at its real limits, too. For many people, this idea sounds almost too simple to be true, just a short walk changing your metabolism this much. But that simplicity is exactly what makes this habit so powerful, so accessible, and so easy to start today. Regular movement timed around meals can help keep blood sugar steadier, improve how insulin functions, and reduce long-term fat storage. Visceral belly fat especially responds to frequent blood sugar and insulin spikes, making this small habit surprisingly relevant for many people. Digestion tends to improve too, since gentle movement helps food travel more smoothly through your entire digestive system afterward. Many people describe feeling physically lighter after eating, along with sharper concentration and noticeably less fatigue throughout their day. But not every single body responds the same way, and that difference matters far more than most people realize. For people prone to low blood sugar, walking around mealtimes can sometimes trigger dizziness, shakiness, or sudden unexpected weakness instead. This risk grows for anyone taking blood sugar-lowering medication during pregnancy, with chronic illness, or with a history of disordered eating. For those situations, this habit should only be tried carefully, ideally alongside guidance from a trusted doctor or specialist. What helps one body thrive might genuinely burden another, which is exactly why this shouldn't be treated as a rigid universal rule. Think of it less like a strict command and more like useful information your body is constantly trying to communicate. Your body sends signals constantly, and learning to notice them is often more valuable than following any single fixed routine. None of this should replace real medical advice. It's simply meant to help you understand how your metabolism actually responds. Small, seemingly insignificant choices in your daily routine can quietly create a surprisingly large impact on your long-term health outcomes. So let's bring this all together. What actually happens when you walk before eating versus walking after you eat? It was never really about counting calories, proving discipline, or chasing intense fitness goals through sheer willpower alone. It's about signals, quiet biological messages your body is constantly listening for, whether you realize you're sending them or not. A walk before eating prepares your body in advance, waking up your muscles and readying insulin to work efficiently later. A walk after eating intervenes at the perfect moment, clearing excess glucose and protecting your body from unnecessary metabolic stress. Both paths lead toward the exact same destination: a calmer, steadier, more resilient metabolism working quietly in your favor. They simply take two completely different roads to get there, depending entirely on your body and your current circumstances. Science isn't fascinating because it's complicated. It's fascinating because it reveals how deeply small choices shape enormous long-term outcomes. Sometimes the meal itself isn't what matters most. It's what you choose to do right before or right after. Pay close attention to how your own body responds, because your body is always talking if you're willing to listen. And if anything about your health feels uncertain, always talk to a doctor before trying any brand new daily habit. So now here's a question worth thinking about. Do you personally prefer walking before meals or walking after meals instead? Have you ever noticed a real difference in how your body feels, depending entirely on your timing around meals?
Share your own experience in the comments below, because your story might genuinely help someone else reading through them. If you found this valuable, stay curious, keep paying attention to your body, and never underestimate the smallest daily habits.